All right, welcome back, everyone. Ready for another deep dive? Today, we're going to tackle something a lot of folks find, well, pretty magical.
Magical, I like that.
We're talking about gratitude
Yeah,
and, how expressing thanks can have a surprisingly big impact.
it really can. Gratitude is something we often talk about in a very simple way, but
Right, like just basic good manners.
exactly, but there's this whole deeper level to it, like psychologically, even physically, that is just so fascinating.
Yeah, and that's exactly what we're going to unpack today. We've got a really cool mix of sources for this deep dive,
Yeah.
some heartfelt gratitude
Oh
practices.
yeah, the practical stuff. Love it.
Absolutely. But also some, shall we say, interesting scenarios involving thank yous. Like, get ready to laugh and learn, folks.
I think some of these scenarios might even make people cringe a little bit.
Oh, I'm sure.
Ugh.
But that's part of the fun. So before we dive into the wild stuff, let's lay some groundwork. What are some typical ways people show gratitude? We all say thank you, maybe give a gift now and then.
Yeah, those are the classics. But think about it. A handwritten thank you note, that's a level up, right? Or even, how about showing appreciation through actions, like doing something helpful for someone?
Yeah, those are good ones.
And then you've got folks who really make gratitude a ritual, like keeping a gratitude
A
journal.
gratitude journal. Okay, so what is that exactly? Do you, just jot down all the stuff you're grateful for each day?
Pretty much. It might seem overly simple, but just the act of writing it down, it helps you become more aware of all the good things in your life, which, let's face it, we could all use a little more of these days, right?
Totally.
Hmm.
But isn't there like a whole brain science thing behind it too?
Oh, absolutely. Gratitude practices like the journaling we talked about, they really help us shift our focus. Instead of dwelling on what we don't have, we start to see and appreciate what we do have. And that shift, that's where the magic happens, really. It literally impacts our neural pathways, making us, more primed to experience happiness. It's like we step off this crazy treadmill of always wanting more and more and just find contentment with what is.
Stepping off the treadmill. I like that analogy. So it's not just about, fleetingly thinking, oh, I'm grateful for this. It's about actually rewiring your brain.
You got it.
That's pretty cool. So beyond the gratitude journal, what other practices are out there?
Oh, there are tons. You've got things like gratitude walks, where you intentionally focus on things you're grateful for while you're, well, walking. I mean, it sounds kind of simple, but it actually can be quite powerful.
Yeah, I can see that. Just being present,
Mm.
noticing the little things. What else?
And how about a gratitude jar? This one's kind of fun. You write down things you're thankful for on little slips of paper and toss them in a jar. Then later on, you can go back and read through them, kind of relive those good vibes.
Well, I like that. Kind of like a little treasure chest of happy memories.
Exactly. And I think what all these practices have in common is they make gratitude an active thing. It's not just a passing thought, it's something you're actively cultivating.
Right, making it a habit. And speaking of making a difference, let's lighten things up a bit. Remember those funny thank you scenarios we mentioned?
Oh, here we go.
Buckle up. Imagine this. You're at the grocery store, right?
Yeah.
And someone with a cart overflowing with stuff cuts right in front of you in the express lane.
Uh-oh. I can see where this is going.
Of course, they have that look on their face, like they're
Yeah.
in a huge hurry. And as they're unloading this mountain of snacks and whatnot, they turn to you and say, "Thanks for understanding. I'm in a rush." What's your reaction? Be honest.
Honestly, well, first of all, I can't say I wouldn't be a little annoyed, but, it does make you think, even in a situation like that, which is totally absurd, that little thank you, even if it's not totally sincere, it can kind of lighten the mood.
It's true. And maybe even make you less likely to, totally flip out on them.
Yeah, it's almost like, what are you supposed to say to that? But wouldn't you agree that if that person had said a genuine thank you, acknowledging they cut the line, you might actually feel a bit better about it?
Oh, absolutely. A sincere apology goes a long way.
Right. It's about acknowledging the other person even when they might be in the wrong. And that brings us to something really crucial. Gratitude isn't just about the person receiving it. It actually benefits the giver as well.
Oh, interesting. So you're saying that by expressing thanks, we're actually boosting our own well-being.
Exactly. There's a lot of research on this, and it shows that making gratitude a habit, it can increase happiness, that reduces stress. There's even evidence that it can improve your physical health. It's not just about being polite, it's about rewiring your brain to focus on the positive.
Okay, I'm seeing why this goes way beyond just surface level politeness. But, some people might say that focusing on gratitude is just a way to ignore, real problems. Like, if you're just focusing on the good stuff, are you really dealing with the bad? What would you say to that?
That's a really important point. And look, gratitude isn't about pretending that negativity doesn't exist. It's not about denial. It's about consciously choosing to focus on the good things alongside the bad, acknowledging the whole spectrum of life, you know.
That makes sense.
Mhm.
So it's not about ignoring problems, it's about having a more balanced perspective.
Right. Think about it this way. Someone does something kind for you, and you genuinely express your thanks. That little act of gratitude, it might just inspire them to do something kind for somebody else, like a ripple effect of positivity going outward.
I love that, the ripple effect.
Yeah.
So simple, but it could make a huge difference.
There was actually a study on this. Participants who practiced gratitude regularly were more likely to help others, even complete strangers.
Wow, that's really cool.
Mhm.
Okay, so let's switch gears for a sec. I want to bring you, the listener, into this conversation. Think back to a time when someone expressed genuine gratitude to you, really felt it, How did that make you feel? What kind of impact did it have on your day?
Yeah, hold on to that feeling for a moment because it really shows you the power a simple thank you can have. It strengthens connections, it builds relationships.
It's more than just words, that's for sure.
Exactly. So, as we wrap things up here, I think it's clear that gratitude is a powerful force. It benefits both the person giving thanks and the person receiving them.
And it's more than just good manners. It's a practice that can genuinely improve our lives. Less stress, more happiness, maybe even better health.
You got it. And remember, it doesn't have to be about grand gestures. It's about those little moments in everyday life where you can stop, acknowledge the good, and appreciate it.
I like that. So as you go about your day-to-day, what's one small thing you can express gratitude for? Something you might usually overlook?
Yeah, give that some thought. It might surprise you.
Awesome. Well, thanks for joining us for this deep dive into gratitude. Until next time.
See you then.